Yo, Chulani, I have a few follow-up questions from a previous conversation, and I was wondering if you have some time right now.
Sure, tell me.
Okay, so I was looking at ETFs and stocks that you told me last time, and I found a few stocks that are similar, but I don't know how to decide which one to pick.
So, good. I'm glad that you're looking at ETFs and stocks already. But my first advice to you was to go with mom to the grocery store. Have you started doing that? Because I haven't seen you go there.
I haven't gone, but I've been thinking about the products we eat and drink like in our day-to-day lives, and I found two stocks that was Coke and Pepsi. And recently I just found out that Lay's is a brand of Pepsi, and so I found that interesting, and I was wondering like, how do you pick between Coke and Pepsi?
So I think here's my second piece of advice to you, and I think this should precede the first. You need to cut down on sodas and junk food.
Okay.
And secondly, I think it's an excellent choice of stocks. I mean, these companies are beautiful companies for investment purpose, right? And just like I'm giving you this advice of cutting soda and junk food, I think you might be having this conversation 20 years down even with your children.
Yeah.
So it's a good selection of companies that you have come up with. Consumer good companies, very hard to fail. Now, you want to know how would you decide, right? Which one to
Yeah.
So there are few things, Naman, that you need to look at. You understand, right? One is the market cap of the company. That's what's the size of the company.
Yeah.
You look at the size of the company. You look at the sales of the company, right? How much of sales is it doing in a quarter, in a year? What is the growth of the sales year over year and quarter over quarter? These are important things to look at. But then there are some nitty-gritties, particularly of evaluating stocks, right? There's something called as earnings per share, that's EPS. Then there's price earning ratio, that's P.
Slow down for that's too much information right now. Can you tell me what exactly EPS and the other
P ratios.
P ratios are?
Okay, so simply put, earnings per share, that's EPS. Let's say 10 people decide to open a company, right? You and 9 other friends decide to open a company, and y'all invest $100 each.
Yeah.
Okay. Now y'all have invested 1,000. At the end of the year, y'all made $1,000 profit in this company.
Right.
Now each of y'all holds one share in the company. So there are 10 shares. Now if y'all have made $1,000, you divide that by the number of shares, 10 shares, you get an earnings of 100.
Mm-hmm.
That is your earnings per share, EPS. Okay. The other thing was price earnings ratio.
Uh-huh.
Now think of this. Let's say you were to sell the company out, right? And you have somebody who's willing to pay you $5,000 to buy out your company. Now y'all have invested 1,000, y'all are making 1,000 per year. Somebody is willing to pay you 5,000 to buy out your company.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you divide the price, let's say the $5,000, divide by your earnings, right? Earnings per share. That gives you your price to earnings. How much is he willing to pay to buy out your company? So he is willing to pay 50 times to buy out your company, right?
Okay.
In this case, let's say your share is valued at 100, and he's willing to offer you a price of 500, let's say. So which means he's willing to pay 5 times. So your price to earnings is 5 times. That's what is PE ratio. And then there is PEG, but I think we will look at that at some other time. It's too soon to give you so much information.
Okay. So, what's your secret strategy to selecting stocks and investing in them?
So you want to know my secret sauce?
Of course.
Okay. So I think what you do first is you get familiar with these terms a little bit more. P ratios, price earning growth ratios, I can help you out. Earnings per share. But then how do I go about evaluating a company, and how do I end up selecting a stock for investment?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll save that for another conversation once you have little more information, and once you have read a little more than what you know today.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.